Time for Hot Picks. Our guest is founder and CEO of Intelligent Alpha, a company that exploits large language AI models to build investment strategies. We are joined by Doug Clinton. Doug, thanks very much indeed for joining us once again.
Thank you, Andrew. Good to be with you.
I'm just checking out GPT, which is your ETF. Not huge, about $20 million right now. And certainly, you launched it there in September, and it's keeping up with the S&P 500, which is more than you can say for a lot of active fund managers out there.
I appreciate you saying that, Andrew. It is hard to beat the S&P 500, and it's fun, actually. If you look at the data from Standard & Poor's, roughly 30 to 40% of human managers actually beat their benchmarks in any given year. We've seen results at Intelligent Alpha that give us confidence that AI is proving to be a better investor than humans so far. And I think the great news for us and our customers that want to invest with AI is that these models just keep getting smarter, to your mention previously about OpenAI's recent developer conference.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, yeah, your ETF, GPT, is the symbol up 21% since mid-September of last year, matching the S&P 500. Let's get to some of the names that your model is throwing up right now. First Solar, give us some background there.
First Solar, it's actually interesting because we run about 30 different strategies at Intelligent Alpha, and First Solar is a name that it sort of keeps popping up in several of the different strategies we run, and I've sort of just taken note of that as I've seen the strategies change. And I actually think it makes a lot of sense, Andrew, because if you think about what we're talking about in AI right now, one of the big unanswered questions is still, how will we power all these data centers? If we spend $1.5 trillion over the next several years building data centers, where will the power come from? I do think solar will be part of that equation. And solar's sort of been left to the side. You know, nuclear, natural gas, those have been the areas of power that I think people have been very excited about. I think First Solar is in a great position to kind of be one of the AI beneficiaries as solar becomes part of that conversation. And the good news with First Solar is it only trades about 12 times next year's earnings. So it hasn't had this crazy AI premium yet that could be the upside case for them.
Talk to us about Datadog. There are fears, of course, AI will upend the software business. Give us some background on Datadog. Remind us what they do, please.
Datadog is an observability platform. So basically what they do is for enterprises that are running software across their organization, they let the C-level information officer kind of see, what's going on. How are these applications performing? Are there any security concerns? And that's really the part that I think is interesting for Datadog, is they kind of play in this security space. Software has been a very difficult place to invest over the past year because, as you mentioned, there are a lot of concerns about how AI might sort of, replace some of these SaaS applications. I think when you're talking about security, though, companies are not going to want to go and, make some vibe coded, software from some engineer they've never heard of be their security platform. They want trusted platforms that they can rely on. I think Datadog, things like CrowdStrike as well, are the companies in the software space that are much more insulated from this AI concern. I think actually demand for these platforms could go up because of AI adoption as well.
And then finally, Goldfields is coming up. It's not a specific call on this miner. I mean, obviously the model likes it, but generally it has been bullish on gold.
The model has been really since the beginning of the year. Our strategy has been quite bullish on gold and hard assets even more broadly. And so GFI is kind of the top gold miner that we have in the ETF. But we also have exposure to some other commodities, FCX. Obviously, they do copper and some other commodities that I think are very relevant here. But the bottom line is this. I mean, gold just hit a new high, I believe, today, $4,000 for the first time. I think I recently saw some comments from Ray Dalio saying that gold is a good thing to have in portfolios given the current environment for investors. And so if we do get into a rate cutting environment, which it seems like we're probably headed for, an inflation hedge with gold and some of these other assets, I think is very sensible.
I think we're going to have to leave it there. Doug, thank you very much indeed. I guess before too long, we'll be interviewing the actual model. We're not far away from that. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Andrew.
Doug Clinton, founder and CEO of Intelligent Alpha.